Hey everybody, it's Dr. Sandman. Sorry if you could tell that I'm a little sick. My voice probably sounds disgusting. I'm getting over a cold. If you can't deal with it, then I guess you're just gonna have to get down with the sickness. Ooh, ah, ah, ah. Today I have a first impressions for the DC Tarot. I have seen quite a few different superhero themed tarot decks before. My cat wants to be a part of the video. And I always avoid getting those tarot decks because I don't like them. So it's usually because it's a exclusively Marvel tarot deck and I don't really like Marvel, or it's a mix and I just can't tell how it's gonna turn out. And I hadn't seen one that's just DC yet. I've even thought about what characters I would put into a tarot deck if I were making them from solely DC comic book characters. I was very hesitant to buy it at first because I thought that there might be characters as certain cards that I didn't think really fit either the character's personality or the meaning of the card. I feel like a lot of the people who make tarot decks or design tarot decks based on pre-existing properties don't really study tarot or don't really read tarot and don't do their research, so they look at the name of the card and then they pick a character or a song or whatever it is that they're pulling from that fits to the name of the card and not really what the card means in depth. For example, I have an Alice in Wonderland deck and I love that deck a lot, but for the first card, the Fool, I feel like the character in Alice in Wonderland that would make the most sense to be the Fool based on what that card represents is Alice, but they have the Mad Hatter, and I guess they picked the Mad Hatter because Mad sounds foolish and he's this very silly character, and they're like, oh yeah, that's the Fool, but I feel like Alice's character fits the meaning of the Fool card, beginning a journey, and it's, so that's how I feel about that. I got a little bit of hope with this because I looked on the back and it had some example cards in it, and it actually had some of the characters that I would pick for those particular cards. Like for the High Priestess, they have Raven from Teen Titans, who was my first pick for that card. On the back, I really like what it says. It's very cute. It says, let the world's greatest superheroes help you discover your secret identity with this enchantingly empowering tarot deck featuring all new visions of the DC universe's most legendary figures. I think that's pretty cool. It's a standard 78 size deck, and it is written by Casey Gilly, and illustrated by 17th and Oak, or at least that's what it says right there. So let's crack into it. Oh, right on. Okay. So this is the guidebook. So it's got the Gotham City PD on the cover. This is what the inside looks like. It's a little bit designed so it's not like a plain black box. It's got a little blue ribbon to pull out the cards. So this is the back of them. I'm trying not to spoil it for myself. It's got DC the logo. It's not reversible. I personally don't mind that it's not reversible, and in the corners it's got the Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Green Lantern logo. I think is very cool. This is very sleek. My hope for these is that they look very comic book like and not like the DC characters playing dress up as the Rider-Waite images. I hope that's not what it is. But we'll see. I will not be upset. I will not be disappointed. I will not be upset. I will not be angry if it's a pip deck. I will understand why it's a pip deck. They know that people are going to buy it just because it's a DC deck and that people who don't read tarot are going to buy it just because it's DC. But I really hope that's not a pip deck. One, because I don't like them. I can't read them well. But also because DC has enough resources and plenty of characters to pull from to finish an entire tarot deck, having a different character on each card. So let's hope. But I will say this though, that if the Lovers card is Harley and Joker, I will be suing, so there's that. The first card, yep, okay, the Fool is Harley I think that's really cool. Okay, so far it looks like a mix between actually looking like a comic book page and looking like they're Rider-Waite poses, which so far I don't mind. I don't think they did a bad job with that. I saw that coming. I saw that coming. I knew that's who I knew that's who was gonna be the magician. Zatanna. Raven is the high priestess, which that's who I would choose to be the high priestess personally. The Empress, yep, that makes perfect sense. Poison Ivy for the Empress. Then we have the Emperor, Aquaman. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. I guess, yeah, sure. The Hierophant. And these are matte and not glossy. I love it. For the lovers. Oh my god, I love it. But these are matte and not glossy, which makes them a lot easier to shuffle, which I do appreciate. I so dig that they have Apollo and Midnighter as the lovers. That's awesome, man. Yep, that makes perfect sense. The Flash as the Chariot. Yes, I also saw this on the back, and I thought that was a very cool representation. They have Cyborg and Beast Boy as strength. They have the Phantom Stranger as the Hermit. I think that's pretty good. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, okay, so the Green Lantern is the Wheel of Fortune. Yep, that's an obvious choice too. Justice is Wonder Woman. Yeah, that's fair. For the Hanged Man. I think they chose a character for that. They have Dead Man for Death. It's a really cool looking card. Nice. Martian Manhunter as Temperance. That's, yeah. That fox, that's really good. That's cool. Oh, they have John Constantine as the devil. If I get some fake nerds in the comments, some 40-year-old men who are like, it's John Constantine, not Constantine. In the comics, it's pronounced Constantine, and they make a point of saying that. You have the Joker as the Tower, which makes perfect sense, honestly. Oh, my cat he has returned. Say hello, Binks. This is my cat, Banks. Have Supergirl as a star. Have Catwoman as the moon. I would have to think about how I feel about Catwoman being the moon. Oh yeah, that one's perfect. Superman as the sun. Yes, I was wondering because I saw the glimpse of Batman on the cover in this kind of like shadowy composition. I was wondering what card he was gonna be, and yeah, it makes perfect sense that he's Judgment. Then we have, is that Swamp Thing as the World? I think that's fair. Okay, moment of truth. Is it a pip deck? Let's find out. Okay. Well, first of all, we have the court cards. So now we have Starman as the King of Wands. I guess that's fine. Then we have Vixen as Queen of Wands. Is that Shazam? Oh my god, Shazam as the Knight of Wands. That makes... I'm gonna see who they have as the Page of Wands. I would have put Shazam as the Page of Wands. But... I guess it's fine. Oh, okay. They put Stargirl as the Page of Wands. That's a beautiful card, too. No! No! It's a pip deck! No! I get it. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Ace of Wands. And then you know how it goes, you know what it is. It's just a pip deck. Why would they do that? Aww. Such a bummer. Dude. Well, it's time to talk about something different because it's just gonna be repeating images. Oh, not for long. We have the Ten of Wands. We have the King of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Pentacles. Oh, we have another Green Lantern. Yeah, that makes sense for the Knight of Pentacles. Then the Page of Pentacles. And it's another fucking suit, I guess. So yeah. Well, that's cool. Is that the Pentacles are they all gonna be ring? Yeah, they're all gonna be the Green Lantern's rings, which I guess is cool. That makes sense considering that it's typically a quote-unquote green suit because it's earth-related and has a lot to do with finances and things like that, and Green Lantern obviously is green, so I suppose that's a fine choice. But these, I'm glad that they are matte and not glossy. They are a good size. I think they're standard size. They might be a little bit wide. Too wide to be considered a true standard. But I think they're standard size. So that's cool. I like the artwork so far. You have just another fucking pip deck. Okay. So we got Deathstroke as the King of Swords. That's so cool. Oh, and Katana as the Queen of Swords. Robin, Knight of Swords. That one makes sense, yeah. Is that Huntress? Yeah, I think that's Huntress for the Page of Swords. Fucking another suit. Yeah. That's cool though. You can't trick me. Just because you put like kind of a background doesn't mean it's not a pep deck. This is ridiculous. There are enough characters in DC to make it not a pip deck. And that's all I'm saying. Like, I don't see any reason why they couldn't have, like, even, like, background characters that, like, people aren't familiar with. There's no reason they couldn't have incorporated them somehow. It's 78 cards out of a how many decade-long running, comic book company, and how many thousands of characters that they have. You don't need to... Even if they're not characters that everyone knows, like, there's no reason you couldn't have done it, you know? It's kind of cop-outy. Now we're at the Cups, and we have a Black Lightning for the King of Cups, which is really cool. Is that Nubia? Oh my god, guys, I just got, like, an art print of Nubia at a comic convention like last September or something, October I think. Oh my god, and I'm trying to get some more comics of her, so that's really cool. Then we got Black Canary for Knight of Cups. The Page of Cups is Starfire. But why does she fucking look like that? Do you see what I mean? Why does she look like that? Like, not to insult the artist, but like, I don't know. That's not my Starfire. Ace of Cups. Oh, dude, this is bogus. Okay. Just more cups. Okay, well this is a bummer. So yeah, that's the last of it. This is so disappointing. I want more. I know I said that I wasn't going to be upset, but I am. I lied. I'm a liar. Who cares? Who cares? So that's the deck. Let's give it the shuffle test. Oh yeah, these shuffle just fine. Yeah, these shuffle great actually. What would I rate this? Probably a 6 out of 10. Maybe a 7 out of 10 if I'm being generous. I really wanted to love this, and I guess I do, but it's letting me down in areas that I really didn't want it to let me down. I really did not want it to be a pip deck. I never want it to be a pip deck, but like with something where they have so many options for characters, for the minor arcana, there's no reason they couldn't have dug deeper. I don't know who was in charge of this, but I demand to speak to them. They could have even done villains. There were hardly any villains in the major arcana. It's because it's not DC. It's not just DC heroes, even though the back of it says heroes, but it's called the DC Tarot. It's not the DC Hero Tarot. So they could have added more villains, you know. But it is what it is. Am I mad about it? Yes. It's a shame too, because this could, the thing about decks that are inspired off of pre-existing properties is that if you're not familiar with tarot and you want to learn and you find one that is inspired off of a pre-existing property that you were already interested in, it could really help you learn. And by pre-existing property, I don't mean just like comic books, I mean like films, bands, famous artists, you know, not just a property, but anything like pre-existing that has a lot of content. So if you're learning tarot and you saw this because you love DC, you're kind of like screwed as far as the minor arcana goes because it's a pip deck. So but if you are familiar, but if they didn't have that, if each of them was a different character, or maybe even scenes, they didn't even have to be full characters, they could be scenes from famous peaks and storylines, you know. So that way, if you're a really big DC fan but you don't know that much about tarot, if you pull like the Justice card that has Wonder Woman on it, you may not know what that means in tarot traditionally, but you know that Wonder Woman does not exact revenge or work towards punishment. She wants a fair and balanced conclusion to a situation, and she wants justice. So you could still be able to read the card even though you don't know anything about tarot. And same thing with Raven as the High Priestess. You know that you don't know what that means in tarot, what a High Priestess is, but you know that she is that character is very wise and has this kind of a mysticism to them, and has this not necessarily divine knowledge, but very mystical kind of knowledge. So you could kind of infer what that means, and it's just disappointing. I know I'm saying how disappointed I am, but I don't hate it. It's pretty sick, actually. But yeah, I give it a 6, maybe a 7 out of 10. I think that the art is pretty good, except for that Starfire. I don't know what was up with that Starfire. But yeah, that's just my first impressions on it. We'll see how I actually end up reading with it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. a comment. If you thought it, if you think you could read well with this, being a DC fan, let me know. And I will leave my social media links in the description below, and I hope that all of you guys have a fantastic day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.